Ram insurgency in the northeast, the education sector has suffered major setbacks, especially in the area of school infrastructure destroyed, teachers and students displaced or killed, kidnappings, and other traumatic experiences. Another major challenge in Borno State is the lack of qualified teachers, a situation which led to the constitution of the Literacy and Numeracy Competency Assessment Committee to revitalize the sector.
Out of the 17,229 teachers, 5,439, which constitute 31.6%, are found to be competent. 7,975, constituting 46.3%, need further training, while 3,815, constituting 22.1%, are incompetent.
Governor Babagana Zulum describes the findings as scary, pledging to train the trainable.
We found that even those that are so-called qualified still have some certain cases to answer regarding their competencies. Because yes, a certificate will be presented to you, wherein he has NC, so, he has degree, but yet they cannot even read and write. Some of the revelations of this outcome of this verification exercise are so scary. I cannot see how these local government areas will progress without cleansing the educational system, especially look at academic. Only 14 are competent, qualified teachers.
The committee was set up after a series of spontaneous assessment of teachers during his regular and scheduled trips to the local government areas and revealed that Maiduguri Metropolitan Council has the highest number of untrainable teachers at 396.
Joining us on the program from Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, is the Commissioner for Education, Borno State, Mr. Lawan Abawal-Kilbe. Thank you for joining us. Governor Babagana Zulum describes the teacher qualification. All right, the governor described the teacher qualification situation as rather scary after it was discovered that thousands are not even qualified for the position. Now, tell us, how rigorous was the competency process that uncovered this situation that Borno State finds itself?
Thank you very much. First of all, after 2 years of intensive rebuilding of the state, His Excellency Professor Babagana Umara Zulum initiated a needs assessment on education, health, and water supply between August to October 2021. Now, the education part discovered that there's a serious problem with the LEA teachers, LEA for Local Education Authority teachers, those teaching at basic education level. So His Excellency directed the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the State Universal Basic Education Board and academia and people from the academics, particularly from the University of Maiduguri, professors of education, education specialists, to now come up with a competency test. It's a kind of questionnaire that is to be administered on all the 17,229 teachers. The first component is the basic literacy, then the basic numeracy, then the oral test. This test took place between the 5th to 23rd of January 2022, and the result is what we presented yesterday.
So how did so many people get through the recruitment process, or how did so many teachers get through this? Is this kind of a verification of certificates? It's rather strange.
Yeah, there were a series of verification of certificates. Most of this damage took place before the enactment of the compulsory free basic education law of 2005. Prior to that, the power of recruitment is with the education secretaries and the local government chairman. So at that time, as part of political appeasement, they took on so many people. Successive governments have been verifying. From His Excellency Governor Kashim Shettima's administration verified. There were 2 verifications also under Professor Zulum, and there is continuous verification. This test you see that was conducted is for the teachers that have been cleared. So it's a damage that has been taking place for so long before the enactment of the law.
Now, you will agree with me that the education sector in Borno State is vulnerable because of the security situation, which creates some kind of imbalance. Are there any strategies in place to bring back stability to the system going forward?
You see, first of all, we thank God and we are happy with President Muhammadu Buhari, because prior to 2015, we had 20 out of our 27 local governments occupied by Boko Haram. Now, tranquility has returned back to the state, and in the aspect of education, we have even moved out of the education under emergency phase, and we are now at the stabilization phase. As I speak to you, we have returned back secondary schools to 10 communities, which were initially IDP communities. So in this stabilization phase, we have opened up and created access to mainstream as many of these out-of-school children as we can.
Let's talk about the out-of-school children. Are you taking the situation into consideration and, of course, reintegrating them into the system?
Of course, conservative figures put our out-of-school children and put our number of orphans at 56,000. Hundreds of thousands of students are out of school. Recently, most of the schools we have returned are in IDP communities, and the enrollment is so wonderful and so massive. So as an encouragement to them, the Borno State government under the leadership of Professor Babagana Umara Zulum opened so many of these mega schools in IDP communities. Students are given free uniforms, students are given free books, students are given free meals while they are in school, and those of them that are in far communities, dispersed IDP communities, are given bicycles to come to school. And that has been very wonderful. And we have been able to get as many as we can back to school. And the program will continue, because it is our objective to see that by the end of this academic session, schooling resumes in all our 27 local governments.
All right, Commissioner, would like to have updates on the rebuilding of school infrastructure that's already been damaged as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency, which you touched on earlier. What can you tell us concerning that?
You see, according to the RPBA report of 2015, RPBA for Recovery, Peace Building and Assessment report, which is the baseline for all interventions in the Northeast, puts the conservative figure of classrooms destroyed in Borno State at about 5,000. Now, Governor Shetima administration commenced the rebuilding. They built so many. With the coming of Professor Zulum, in 2.5 years, he was able to build 21 mega schools of 60 and 30 classrooms capacity, 432 classrooms in 48 different schools, completely built 39 schools, and provided conveniences in 242 schools. And as I speak to you, the figure is still going up and up.
All right, finally, what about partnerships, coming from either the donor agencies and perhaps the federal government, to help supplement the efforts of the Borno State government in terms of getting education, to a laudable place?
Yes, first of all, we wish to thank the Northeast Development Commission. It has helped in a great deal, particularly helping us in transiting from our emergency to the stabilization phase. Then there has been numerous World Bank intervention in the aspects of education, like CPIP, like BESDA. We are now having Agile. It's all coming on board, and it has been of great assistance. Then the World Bank MCRP project is also of great assistance. It also helped in the rebuilding. So these are the major partners that have assisted us so far.
All right, Commissioner for Education, Borno State, and Mr. Lawan Abba Walkibe, thank you so much for your thoughts on News Across Nigeria.
It's my pleasure.
And with that, we draw the curtain on the program. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun.